Hey, what's up, everybody? Listen, the next 2 weeks, Love and Versus, we decided that we're going to give you some throwbacks. So my team and I have sat down and we've looked at some things from last year that are absolutely amazing. And some of the material is in the book, Love and Versus. And so we thought you would have a chance to visit with us in one of our worship services where I taught and shared some things on relationships. And so last year was so phenomenal, 2019's relationship series. So we thought we would just roll it back on this Throwback Thursday. So tune in and sit back. I think you're going to enjoy some of what we shared.
She operates off an A battery, a triple A battery. What are they, Pastor? Here it is. Number one, women need assurance. They need assurance. What do you mean by that? Women love some security. That's why you see a pretty chick with an ugly dude. How he get her? Because he balling and make sure the bills are paid. She likes security. Y'all ain't hearing me in here. A woman like to know we ain't gonna get put out the house. The car ain't gonna be repo. You are not gonna drink up all your check. You are not gonna gamble away it once you get it on Friday. The crack man ain't gonna get it, and then I gotta come bail you out. They like assurance. But then hold on. Women like attention. Show you right about it. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. Women want you to say something when they get their hair done. What's wrong with your neck? Well, your hair look good. Thank you. A lot of ladies are looking for attention from a man they didn't get from their father. So they need you to assure them they still look good. They need you to assure them you're not going to leave them. They need you to assure them, I'm preaching in this house, that after 3 children of mine, I still love you. You look good, girl. I'm going to compliment you. They need some attention. The other A on that is this: they need affection. They need to be loved. They need for you to embrace them. They need for you to care for them. They need for you to talk to them. Don't just do things that say, I love you. I need to hear you say, I love you. But ladies, let me flip that, because we need to know how to engage and learn how to engage each other, men and women. But then women, you need to let him learn how to express himself. Okay, because some ladies, y'all know how y'all do, women. Y'all will overtalk a brother in a minute. Then, matter of fact, you'll say your piece, and you already got your responses when I knew you was going to say that. You already have 5 responses. You're like, wow. Can a brother get a word in edgewise? Y'all know what I'm saying? So when you engage, understand conversation is not just monologue, it's dialogue. We speak and learn each other's. And ladies, learn to share what it is you want. Share it at the time when the man can hear you. I want you to get this. You get my ear early in the morning. My wife knows that. I got one gear. Go hard all day. When I get home, go hard, go home. And when I get home, I'm shutting it down. And so I need you to speak to me in the morning about what you need me to do so I can fit it in everything else that I'm doing. Because if you're trying to get my attention in the evening, it's going to be harder. If you're trying to say something to me while I'm watching the game, it's going to be harder. If you're trying to say something to me while I'm engaged in something else, it's going to be harder. So I need you to be sensitive enough that when you say something to me, you say it at just the right time so you can get the response out of me while my ear is open early in the morning so you can get out of me what you're looking for. Some of us, the issue is timing. You telling him stuff, but you ain't telling him at the right time. But if you tell him at the right time, you will see some stuff change that you're looking for to see changed. You got to spend time. I want y'all to catch this. Spend time talking, not arguing or debating. Because see, some of us, we're good at debating but not listening. Okay, let me give this to y'all because I'm going to free some of us. Some of us have grown up in contexts with arguing, debating, and confusion. We know how to cuss you out. We know how to argue and keep it going. We know how to hit you with low blows. But the Bible says a wise woman builds her house, but a foolish woman will tear it down. You got to know how to be wise with your words and speak in a way where we're not arguing or debating. We're talking about it. And men, y'all ain't getting off the hook. Men, we got to stop being stuffers. You got to learn how to express yourself without being emotional. And you got to stop stuffing stuff. What you mean by that? See, some of us hold on to stuff we angry about too long. And then somebody, how you doing? I'm fine. I'm cool. No, you ain't. Look at your body language. You ain't cool. You hot. You said you cool with your mouth, but your movement's saying you hot. And y'all know why men are like this? I'm going to help y'all. Ladies, we got feelings too. Men have emotions too. Men cry. We just cry in the dark. Because I don't want to share with you a sensitive part of me if I can't trust you. Because a man don't want to look weak in front of a woman. I need to know I can trust you and not going to change on me if I tell you some stuff that bothers me, some fears that I have, some insecurities that I have. I need to know you are not going to look at me different, but you're going to still build me up and say, that's all right. That job may have cut you loose, but you still my strong brother. Black, bro, I'm sorry. Is this too much for y'all? Holler back at me up in this house. Men need you to speak to them in a way that builds them up, encourages them, edifies them, helps them to be the man that God called for them to be. God says, I don't want you shutting down. I want you to be able to release it. This is why you got to be careful who you're in a relationship with, because when you're in a deep relationship with people, I'm going to see some vulnerabilities in you, some shortcomings in you, but it's not my job to point out and pick out your shortcomings. My job was to help you in that area where you're weak. So I want you to know that you can trust me. I want you to know that I'm not going to look at you different, but I'm going to pick up the pieces that have been dropped in your life. So what you gonna get from me is a hug, is an encouragement, is a word that will build you up and help you be who God has called for you to be. But how will they know if you never teach them? How will she know what turns you on and turns you off if you never tell her? How will he know how to compliment you and spend the right time on you and say the right thing if you never tell him? Here's some stuff you need. This is what you need to start saying to the person you're in a relationship with. This is what I like. This is what I don't like. This is how I need to be treated. This is what encourages me. This is what makes me feel good. This is what builds me up. All the time, I would buy my wife stuff for Christmas and do things for her that I thought was her love language. But when I started cleaning up the house, y'all see over there, oh yeah, I might as well start talking good. I'm gonna wash the dishes today. Matter of fact, you just got a car wash off that. Y'all don't hear me in here. When I started cleaning up the house and taking load and pressure off her, she would come home with a smile on her face and excited. And I said, now I know your love language. You don't necessarily need material. You just want to know I put in some work before you showed up. You want to know that I cleaned out my hair in the sink after I shaved. You want to know that I put the toilet seat up when I went in. Have I got a witness in this? But how will they know if you don't tell them? Let me give this to y'all. If you don't communicate, you leave people to draw conclusions. I'm going to say it again. I don't think all y'all caught that. When you don't communicate, you leave people to draw conclusions. This is how a whole lot of misunderstandings start with friends. Because you started moving one way, and I interpreted you moving that way meant I need to be defensive. You moving that way and saying that meant me thinking in my mind, okay, I need to prepare if you're going to leave. You moving and saying that made me, but if you communicate and tell them specifically what your intentions are, what you're trying to do, where you're trying to go, it will give them the assurance and the understanding, but they won't know unless you tell them. I came home one week after my wife she went home before me, and she went out and got some food. And the food that she got, when I got there, it wasn't what I wanted, and what I did, it was something I didn't like. And so when I got there, I didn't say it rudely. I said, oh, wow, I don't like that. She said, well, I tried to call you, but your phone was off. And so she said, I was left to determine what to get you, and so I thought you might like this because I couldn't hear from you what you wanted. So I went and got this and tried to meet your needs. I had to apologize because I said, thank you for trying to get me what you thought I wanted. And since I didn't communicate it to you, how did you know what I wanted? Your spouse is not a psychic. They don't know everything you want from them. They need you to open up. Somebody in here should have shouted all over this house because I'm delivering some people today. I'm saving some marriages today. I'm helping some people on today. And if you're not married, just tuck that in your note and say, now I know how to express myself and engage the person I'm with. Number 3, there's got to be touch. Don't miss this. If you're going to learn them and they're going to learn you, there's got to be time, there's got to be talk, there's got to be touch. Touch is so important that you have to learn how to embrace, hold hands, love, hug, caress, and kiss. We are emotional creatures that need a touch. In fact, touch is so powerful that one woman was suffering from 12 years of a condition she could not cure, but she made her way through the crowd, and once she touched Jesus, she was delivered and changed. One touch from Jesus was more than what every other man had tried for 10, 12 years. One touch from Jesus gave her breakthrough, because when she touched the hem of him, her was healed. How many of y'all know that if you can touch, there's some stuff that'll change? I want you to get this. You got to learn how to touch. Somebody shout touch. If you're in a relationship with somebody, understand, man, that a woman needs to be held, caressed, loved, hugged, encouraged, inspired. Know she's still valuable to you through the touch. I was in a counseling session, and I don't do this anymore, but I decided to counsel this couple that weren't members of our church. I didn't have time for it, but I was doing a favor for somebody, and after the first session, I said, I'm done. I don't do Jerry Springer, Maury Povich. I'm not Judge Judy. Y'all ain't hearing me up in here. No, I'm a pastor. And I'm going to tell you what comes from the word. But it was so funny, and I had to laugh because when I'm meeting with them, she's telling her husband, and they're going back and forth. And finally she said, Tony, I need you to touch me, and I'd always wanted to go somewhere. I'm not a microwave that you can hit certain buttons, warm me up, put your stuff in me, and take it out. I said, wow. He can't say he ain't hearing from her. Men, get this. If you learn how to touch her, you can see some stuff change. Don't always touch her to say, I want something from you. Touch her sometime just to rub her shoulders. Touch her just to rub her feet after she's been on them all day. Touch her mind with oil and pray over her. Touch her and comfort her and tell her it's going to be all right. Touch her and put your arms around her like a father never did. Touch her and lift her up and say, I can still pick you up. Touch her sometime and just encourage her. Don't you wait till she comes home. You touch and agree with her before she leaves out in the morning. Pray that she has a productive day. Then you touch her at 12 with a text. Then when she get back home, you touch her again. I promise you, it may not start in the bedroom, but it'll lead to the bedroom. Have I got a witness up in this house? Holler back if you hear me. Ladies, women don't just need to be touched. Men, we need to be touched too. I got one witness. I know I'm right about it. Amen. We need some touch. I thought the brothers would back me up in here. Listen to this. Ladies, you have the responsibility of touching and catering to your king. Come on. I can't usually tell you to listen to all Beyonce songs, but she got one song, Cater to Your Man, that will bless your household and your spirit. Come on, I got your dinner ready, your slippers, and dessert. I wish I had some help up in this house. Because if he ain't a king nowhere else, he should be a king at home. Because you don't know what pressure he's under at the job. You don't know what discrimination he's dealing with. You don't know what demons he's battling. You don't know the people who tried to tear him down. But if he can come home and know his wife is going to cater to him and lift him up, I promise you he'll stay a while. You can tame him with a touch. You can tame him with a touch. I'm amazed that there are certain animals, ferocious beasts, that their keepers can keep their attention and comfort them with just a right touch. I've seen tigers turned over on their backsides in vulnerable positions as their keeper is rubbing their stomach and they're taming them with a touch. Samson wanted a touch so bad that he laid his head in the lap of Delilah. Delilah took advantage of the fact he needed a touch. A man needs a touch, and I want to help us. Don't be one of those kind of wives who puts a man on punishment. No, you don't get none for a while because you made me mad. Is this helping y'all? Talk back at me. I'm going to ration it out. Okay, you ain't touching him. He going to get a touch somewhere. And you want to make sure you're the one touching him. No, 1 Corinthians chapter 7 says, wives, render to your husbands what is due, and husbands, render to your wives what you are supposed to. And the only time you are supposed to not have relations is when you are fasting, mutually agreeing that we're not going to touch each other in that manner. But as soon as the fast is over, y'all better start touching again and getting that fire started all over again, because he needs a touch. And if you're going to learn how to love him, he's going to learn how to love you. You got to spend time with each other. You got to talk with each other. And you got to touch each other. One of the most amazing love stories to me is still Michelle Obama and Barack Obama. An absolute love story. Y'all know we ain't had a first lady or president like them since. Come on, holler back at me. Class exuded every time that they step, sophisticated and educated. I don't care if you don't like them, y'all know it's the truth. The story is so interesting because they met when Michelle was at a higher level than Barack. Barack shows up to the law firm and he is assigned to Michelle for her to mentor him and serve as an intern under him. And as they begin to listen to each other, they discovered that they learned something about each other. And they loved each other and they lifted each other. Because when Michelle met Barack, he was driving a car with holes in the floor. He was living in a studio apartment, but she saw something in him. And he ain't driving a car with holes in the floor no more. He ain't living in a studio apartment no more. Because she learned him. She loved him. And she lifted him. Wait a minute, sound like Jesus. Because Jesus loved us. Jesus lifted lifted us. And Jesus changed our conditions. And if nobody else loves you, you don't think Jesus loved you enough to send his son to die on the cross, to lift you up, to love you. Is there anybody here grateful that love lifted me when all else had failed? Love lifted me when I was a wretch undone. He picked me up, turned me around, and placed my feet on solid ground. Love lift us up where we belong. Have I got a witness up in this house that can give God some glory, that he saw the best in you, pulled the best out of you, and still working with you despite your misfortune, despite your idiosyncrasies, despite your failings, your shortcomings? He won't ever leave you. No, I'll be with you to the end. I'm not going to divorce you if you pick up weight. I'm not going to divorce you if you backslide. I'm not going to leave you in times of trouble. Somebody in here ought to give God some glory if he loved you. God says, I am the one you need to get your definition of love from. And I'll come back to this later on in the series, but some of what we think is love is really lust. Come on, somebody. Love lasts, lust leaves. Ooh, somebody ought to tweet that. Love lasts, lust leaves. Wonder why he don't like me no more. He ain't calling me because it wasn't love. Is this too much for y'all? No. And God says, I need you to get from me how you are to be loved. Catch this, because I need you to value yourself enough. If I sent my son to die for you, how you going to let somebody take advantage of you? You should love yourself enough and value yourself enough that I'm not going to tolerate any old definition of love. No, I need some people who are loyal to me. This goes outside of a marriage relationship. I'm not staying in friendships I can't trust. I'm not spending time with people who are backstabbers. I'm not lingering where I am tolerated. I'm only going where I'm appreciated because I love myself enough. Is there anybody in here that'll just celebrate over yourself? I dare you to shout right where you stand. I'm not desperate for you. I don't get my approval from you. I don't need you to pat me on the back. I woke up this morning and looked myself in the mirror and said, Lord, you outdid yourself. Have I got a witness up here? It's interesting, Brother Gavin. Catch this. I'm gone. I'm done, for real, for real. The Bible opens with a marriage. And the Bible closes with a marriage. In Genesis, we see the marriage between Adam and Eve. Jesus is referred to as the second Adam. Ephesians chapter 5, the church is the bride of Christ. In the book of Revelation, we see the culmination of the world. At the culmination of the world, there is what is called the marriage supper of the Lamb. It is when Jesus comes and has received the church, his bride, to himself. The Bible starts with a marriage, closes with a marriage, to show us God's view and perspective of what love looks like. From beginning to end, God says, when you come into a relationship with me, it's forever. A couple of forevers. Have I got a witness up in here? God says, if you give your heart to me, you don't have to worry about me leaving you. You can trust I'm going to hold your heart. And I'm not going to hurt it. Somebody write this down. I'm in the overflow. I'm going to hold your heart and I won't hurt it.